Hello, family, friends, and fellow sojourners. I did a blog yesterday and was talking about what some of the wisdom my grandmother shared with me when I was growing up and as a young adult. And I wanted to expound on that just a little bit and tell you the reason I told you some of those stories about the way she reacted to me about wasting food was because she was a survivor of the Depression and raised her family, had been during very difficult times. She told me one time that my mother had made a sandwich. Actually, it was a biscuit for her and her father, my mother's uh, my mother's father. And what it consisted of was some bacon lard and a couple of raisins. Now that's pretty poor when you think about surviving on food like that. Although that's not what she was supposed to make, but that's what she was used to eating. So my grandmother said something about them working out in the hot sun in the fields all day long, and that was the meal that my mother, when she was a young girl, had made for them. And so she didn't waste food, she didn't waste water because of her Depression era. And when she told me, "Sister, don't put all your eggs in one basket," I got to thinking about that last night, with the story that I shared, and I really realize now what she was referring to, because I didn't find this out till much later. But during the Depression, when money was, I think they were making $1 a day per adult for working in the hot sun all day long for 12, 14 hours a day. And one of the reasons that she held fast to that saying was because in order for them to pay their taxes during one year, they had a prize sow that they had bred, and they were going to use the sale of their piglets to help pay for their taxes and to survive a little while longer. But I didn't know that what had happened is that they put all their eggs in their one basket with that sow and expected that sow to deliver them from the tax burden. And when in fact that sow, as she was almost getting ready to deliver those piglets, walked up some kind of a plank to get a drink of water, and she fell in a water trough and she drowned. So because they were banking on that, they wound up losing their 1,000 acres down around the Four Corners area, which they had cleared most of the sagebrush, and their children, my mother, was promised 100 acres apiece if they helped clear the land. And they had 7 children, so that meant that 300 acres would be left to my grandparents, and their children would get 100 acres apiece. But that didn't happen. So that's why my grandmother said, "Don't ever put all your eggs in one basket." So I'm just letting you know that that's exactly what happened. Hold on just a minute. Alexa, cancel. Sorry. And it was hard times for them. My mother was very frugal and was always keeping books down to the penny. And it was very important, the way she lived her life, the way my grandparents lived their lives, and it rubbed off on me to a great extent. That's why I try and do everything I can to cut corners and do what I need to do to make things work. And I wanted to let you know that along with my standing next to that sink and working with my grandmother preparing a meal and cutting strawberries and that kind of thing, she talked about Jesus. And she's the one, she and her mother, who was a devout Christian as well, prayed for me when I was in my mother's womb and had prayed for me. I think my great grandmother died when I was 5, and my grandmother prayed for me, I think, when she was in an Alzheimer's coma type thing towards the end of her life. I believe with my whole heart that she continued to pray, whether we knew it or not. I think that was why she didn't die for quite a while after she was in that ward. But that's basically what I wanted to share with you, is the legacy that my great grandmother, my grandmother left me, and that I believe is why I'm a Christian today and have strong faith. And Anyway, I'm getting ready to take these leftovers. But again, here's that mildew one or moldy one that I'm going to throw out. But I'm just getting ready to go feed my animals, just as a reminder of the blessings that we have. And when the Lord told me to be thankful for all things, I didn't know when I didn't get strawberries this year that the Lord was going to put this $12 flat in my life, and I was going to get enough strawberries to kind of get us through a long winter. So again, when he says be thankful for all things, I think this was one of the things that he talked about, in conjunction with the fact that all my flowers came back that were stripped completely down to the stems. They came back and they're in beautiful bloom now, and I'm enjoying what I was hoping to enjoy before that hailstorm. So anyway, I hope that you are blessed by a little more information about my family and where I came from and why I am the way I am today. And anyway, I hope you guys have a blessed day. Take care now. Bye-bye.